Well, Rahmatullah Nowruz is chief executive of the aid charity Qamar and has teams helping in the districts hit by the quake. Very good to talk to you today, sir. Just tell us about what it's actually like on the ground. Often when we see footage of earthquakes, we see heavy machinery going in there to move buildings, but clearly that is not something that's able to happen in Afghanistan and these remote areas.
Thank you, Jen, for having me. Yes, you're right. Unfortunately, people are using their bare hands to help the people who have been affected by this particular earthquake. Machineries are a very far thing to say, but even bare equipments, like the small equipment, they don't have it. In fact, I heard today from our team on the ground, and they were saying that people not only struggling with their own life, but they're struggling with dead bodies because there's no equipment to dig the ground and bury them. And that's also a trouble for them right now. Unfortunately, it's a really big crisis, and we are hoping to get the attention of the international community and aid organizations to help those communities, not only in this particular situation, but also to develop more strategic, sustainable plans for the long-term solution of the community. It's really, really difficult time. We will definitely discuss other matters they're facing right now.
And the fact that you're pointing that out, that if you can't bury dead bodies because you haven't got the equipment to even dig the holes, that in itself is a risk, isn't it? Because that can then lead to further health issues in terms of the spread of disease.
Yes, that's not only, health issue. Look at psychologically. Imagine you have lost your parents, your entire family, and then you are injured. There's no one to help you. And on top of that, not only you can, relieve yourself in terms of receiving somebody to comfort you, but you're struggling to seeing them laying down on the ground and you can't even bury them. That's psychologically a huge burden. I hope these families can come over it, because it's going to have a long-term effect. And diseases, of course, and the weather is very hot as well. I don't think they can keep them on the ground. There are no facilities to put them into the freezer. They're literally laying down on the ground and only have blankets on top of them. Children, women, elderly men.
It just doesn't bear thinking about, does it? The death toll that we've heard, about 1,000 people, do you think it could be a lot higher than that?
Yes, even now people are, taking out people on the ground, from the ground, and especially 1,500 people are severely injured. And unfortunately, their expectations, they might even lose their life. And some people, they haven't found their family members, so the numbers might increase definitely. The latest number that I heard were 1,200. But they might even increase that number as well.
Yeah. One of the doctors that we spoke to on Sky earlier was saying that there appears to be a lot more women coming into hospitals with injuries than men. Why? Is there any reason why that might be?
Number one, when the earthquake happened, it was raining, so everybody was indoor. Number two, the houses are built by mud. It's not a proper infrastructure. So when everybody's in the houses, particularly women folk, they're in the house and the men are outside. So men are either working somewhere or something else. It's a village, really indigenous community. So, and the houses collapse on top of them. So that could be a contribution to why a number of women are coming to the hospital, because they were mostly in the houses.
There is obviously concern about corruption in Afghanistan, which has stopped a lot of international aid coming into the country. How much is this hampering the rescue effort?
Yeah, I think the concern would not be about the corruption in Afghanistan. It's more political concern people have in Afghanistan. Some of the political benefits are no longer there. That's why many organizations have left, and some of them are still there. We are personally working on the ground, and we are considered one of the biggest organizations in terms of our local organization is concerned. And we have never faced a single issue of corruption. But the problem is honestly not the corruption. You can work things out, but there are other problems organizations are facing. Number one, political isolation of Afghanistan. Like, look at us. There's very difficult for every organization. It's very difficult to transfer funds to Afghanistan. It will take months for even a 10,000 pounds to send to Afghanistan. If you regularly send it, the banks even close your account because they don't want to have anything with Afghanistan. Afghanistan being completely isolated. And the humanitarian reasons, I'm sure you know that more than 95% of the population is living under the poverty line. People are selling their kidneys. I know personally people who have sold their kidneys to feed their children. The husband sold it, that wasn't good enough. Then the mom sold it. So people are selling their kidneys in numbers, but because of political reason, the country being isolated very badly.
It's just desperate. How many people are you able to get into the area where the earthquake has hit?
There are 700 houses been completely demolished to the ground. One of the village in Baramal and also in Gyan, they've been completely demolished. So we are actually still working out a plan what we can do for them. So right now we are delivering emergency food pack and also warm meals so they can have it. And then we are planning to build for them a supply system, uh, logistics so they can rebuild their houses, because building a house in that particular location is very cheap. With £2,000 you can rebuild the house, mostly by mud and things like that. And we're also building some of the water wells for them so they can have access to clean drinking water, and also supporting them with their agriculture and livestock so they can start their lives again. But so far there's not been a significant amount of help because of the distance of the location and also poor infrastructures of the road. It will take some time for us to get the emergency aid that they need.
Yeah, it sounds awful. Rahmatullah Nowruz from the Qamar charity, thanks very much for talking to us. Really interesting to talk to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.